Hi, Cavalier football fans. I'm Dan Ramey. Welcome to another edition of Cavalier Coach's Corner.
Southern Ohio Monument Company believes remembering a loved one after they're gone can be as personalized as when they were here. With over 400 in-stock monuments to choose from, there are shapes and sizes to match nearly everyone's personality, helping your loved one make a lasting impression. Southern Ohio Monument Company on East Main Street in downtown Chillicothe. Open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturdays 8 to 1. Southern Ohio Monument Company, proud sponsor of the Cavaliers.
Hi, I'm Angie with ATI Physical Therapy located in Chillicothe. If pain or injury prevent you from doing what you love, but ATI Physical Therapy gets you back. Whether it's back to work or back to your play, ATI's energetic and motivating team is ready to help you begin your road to recovery. We will craft a personalized treatment plan incorporating the appropriate techniques for your condition. Stop by our Chillicothe location for a complimentary injury screening or visit atipt.com for a location near you.
Young's Family Market is family-owned and operated. M.L. Young founded the grocery store in 1936, and now a second generation of Youngs, Brad, Susan, and their children, now operate the business. To also serve the surrounding area, the Youngs opened a second location in Kingston, Ohio back in 2014, making shopping easy by offering everything you need, including beer and wine, all under one roof. No more running all over town making numerous stops to get everything on your list. Instead, visit our store and find it all. We offer fresh, high-quality products for affordable prices. It's the Young's Family Market, serving the Laurelville, Ohio community for more than 60 years.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing in Central Center can customize t-shirts, banners, posters, vinyl lettering for your car or truck, and they can embroider logos for your school or business. It's time to show your team's spirit. And from Adina to Zane Trace, Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing has all the team colors. And of course, your Chillicothe Cavalier blue and white. So stop on into the shop in Central Center and see for yourself. Or visit Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing online and place your order today.
Hi, Cavalier fans, and welcome to another edition of the Cavalier Coach's Corner. I'm Dan Ramey, and something has changed in the last 10 years. We have a new head coach. He is Doug Pryor, and welcome to the program.
Thank you.
But also welcome to the Chillicothe community.
Thank you so much. Just, thrilled to be here and excited. The guys have been working hard, since the springtime, and so we're finally getting, we're ready for our first game, and glad it's finally here, now under 3 days, really, under 3 days from kickoff. So, just pumped and ready to go for Friday.
Doug becomes the 23rd head football coach of the Cavalier football program since it was reinstituted in 1920. And of course, the previous years was Hall of Famer Ron Hinton was here. And of course, Bill Davidson had success here. Bill Dennis had some success here too. You know what the legacy is here for Chillicothe.
Yes.
You've kind of kept an eye on Chillicothe, haven't you?
Sure do. Ironically, I coached for Heath Hinton at Marion Harding High School from 2009 to 2010. And Heath and I we have a friendship that's just grown. And so I've known the Hinton family for over a decade now. And when that happened, we did some 7-on-7s down at the Manicure Creek when Coach Hinton was there, and I kind of chuckled just thinking back to, I get to see the Hinton family really, just compete and their work ethic, and so when Coach Hinton came here in 2010, I believe it was, that was always a score I checked for in the box score, and we kept up with them at coaching clinics, and obviously just through Heath Hinton, kind of kept tabs on the program, and I could see over the years him rebuilding the program and having a lot of success. And ironically, last year we played Watkins Memorial at Heath and Chillicothe. Obviously, we played them down here, and so that was a great opportunity to see the facilities during the game, to see the kids compete, and just you could just see that he had built something here that was really special and really tied together, and so obviously getting the position, really walking in. I'm really walking into something that is really all put together. Sure, we've had some tweaks here and there, some things that we as a staff wanted to implement. That's usually natural with the new staff, but most of the staff has really stayed the same. So it's been a great transition, and we're ready to go.
Before coming to Chillicothe, you were an offensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
You've had the opportunity to be a coordinator at different stages of the game, so to speak.
Sure.
But this is your first head coaching position?
Head varsity position, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've been a head JV coach and a head freshman coach and a head 8th grade middle school coach, and obviously those are totally different than head varsity coach, because there's so many things outside of the game that come into play when you become the head of a varsity football program, especially at a bigger school like Chillicothe High School. There's so many different opportunities that this program brings, and you want to just try to keep up with the traditions that the school has in place, and also bring in some of your own, but keep in with the strong traditions that are here. This being one of them, the coaches shown excited about this, and ironically, we spoke beforehand that we had this at Marion Harding as well, so this is great.
Yeah, if there's been a Hinton, there's been a TV.
Right.
And a camera in some fashion.
Sure.
What truly have you discovered when you came here that maybe really made you say this was the right decision for me?
I would say just from day one, everyone embraced me with open arms. I mean, everybody's going to say their new job, but I can legitimately say, just from day one, we had a meet the team in the springtime for our spring sports, and they said, well, let's introduce you there. Really, the focus is supposed to be on the kids, but I've never really heard of a coach being introduced at a meet the team, and the community has just been wonderful. The parent involvement, the players, I feel like bought in immediately from our first conversations, and so those things reassured me that this is the right split. Obviously, once you get the position, there's no turning back, but there never was going to be a turning back. But seriously, this is just a wonderful community all the way around.
You inherited a program that lost a lot of seniors to last year. Senior class that had a lot of experience,
Sure.
some post-season experience.
Right.
And really you want to keep the kids excited,
Yes.
and keep them in flux for that. So let's talk about how things have gone so far with your 3 scrimmages you've had, and an opportunity to start to see who's going to rise to the top.
Sure. We opened up with Columbus Northland, and then we scrimmaged Wheelersburg, and we just finished up with Old Tangy Berlin last Friday. And right from the start in the Northland scrimmage, those 3 scrimmages, as a staff, I know myself especially, I just wanted to evaluate, as you said, who are the guys who are going to compete? Who are the guys that are going to play hard? Who can help us on Friday nights? And their scrimmages, they don't go in your record. You're looking for guys that know the fundamentals of the game and that are go out there, and when they get hit, they hit back. And we have a lot of those guys. That's what I found out overall. Northland, we had a lot. We scored a decent amount of touchdowns, and there was a lot of big hits. And then against Wheelersburg, I would say that they were a program where you can't make any mental mistakes, or else they jump right on. They're very opportunistic, right? So that was definitely a scrimmage where we didn't get pushed around. We just found out, hey, there's some mental parts of the game that we need to fix. So against Olentangy Berlin, I feel like we kind of learned from those mistakes, and again, it was a situation where we were right there with them, as far as in the trenches. Again, a mental mistake or two that we've already been on, and we will chalk that up a little bit, not to make excuses, to still trying to learn the game with some new guys and some new places. So that's what we have going.
Yeah, whenever you lose a good number of linemen, a good number of skill positions. There's a lot of question marks. And preseason workouts really start to answer some of those questions for you.
Right, definitely. I mean, it starts and ends up front. And in those last two scrimmages, they were very physical scrimmages. And what we took from that is a situation where, sure, you might have gave up a touchdown or two where you didn't want to, but you look at that and you say, after looking at the film, 2 times more, you realize, man, we were right there with them physically. Our guys didn't get shoved around. We came out of all the scrimmages 100% healthy, and that's first and foremost what you want to do in those situations. So we feel really good going into this week.
Yeah, you take on a program like Wheelersburg, you're looking at something very established and a very physical program, just
Sure.
as you said.
Yeah.
And at Berlin, while last year was their first full year, I mean, they're much bigger than we are as numbers-wise.
Right.
And so they're not going to roll over real easy.
No, definitely not. I mean, that was a perfect scrimmage to go into another physical game one against Tays Valley, because their O-line was extremely physical and had good size across the board and up front, and had a lot of speed. They were great tacklers. They did a great job on the defensive side of the ball, just fitting into the right spots. And again, if we didn't hit the hole the right way, I mean, they were right there in our face. So it was a great test. Three great tests to start. So you really couldn't ask for any better scrimmages than what we had this preseason.
We'd have to ask then, how much different is your offensive scheme
Sure.
compared to what these kids have been used to in previous years?
Sure. In previous years, you've had really a multiple set offense, and that's pretty much what we're doing. We're still multiple. You'll see, some gun spread. You'll see some under center. We, not to give away too much, but I think some of our philosophy maybe has changed a little bit. No disrespect to the coach in there, but now we'll see maybe a little bit more of an air attack, and as opposed to such a strong emphasis and on the run game. So I'm obviously trying to be as vague as possible, but
Sure.
we without giving too much away again, but yeah, I mean, that's just taking maybe some risks in some areas that previously maybe we didn't. We have 2 new coordinators, so I mean, that's on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball. So you'll see a lot of the same things, but you'll see some new wrinkles. So.
And speaking of 2 new coordinators,
Sure.
we want to talk personnel with Coach, and we'll do that in another segment coming up. But before we do that, the question lies out there. We got offense down. What about defense?
Sure. Defensively, we are sticking with the same defense, 4-3 under. It'll look a lot like a 5-2 if we do see a pro set, or if we do see slot receiver tight to the strong side of the field. So we've just kind of, I would say we've tried to simplify some things, being that we do have a younger team on both sides of the ball. So, that's another thing that, I feel like we are, that you'll see out of this team, and you'll see out of this, out of our scheme defensively. We still work pursuit drill every day. That's one thing that, there's many things that, Coach Arndt, he was very successful as a defensive coordinator because of the way the guys flew to the football. And that's something we can see from the first scrimmage on, the way the guys really attacked. And really, we're tied together well as far as fitting into their proper assignments in the run game. So you'll definitely see guys flying around making plays out there.
And we all know too well that there are 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. We'll talk about special teams as well coming up in that 3rd segment of the show this evening. We also have an opportunity to meet up with your 14 captains, right?
Yes, sir. Christian Benson, Cortland Duncan, Patrick Rourke, and Cade Williams are this year's senior captains, senior co-captains, and we're extremely excited. So they're 4 guys that it's just really indicative of the fact that they are the captains, indicative of their work ethic, since day one. and their excitement for Cavalier football. So, yeah.
Certainly bleed blue and white.
Yes.
And, we will meet those four coming up in just a moment, and more players throughout the season as well. So you keep it right here and keep watching. By the way, if you do not know, you can find this on CirclevilleTV.com, online, on demand all the time, and also, of course, on Horizon View. We're going to try and get the Spectrum back on as well. So it's the Cavalier Coaches Corner. We'll continue with our 14 captains coming up.
Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing in Central Center can customize t-shirts, banners, posters, vinyl lettering for your car, truck, and they can embroider logos for your school or business. It's time to show your team's spirit. And from Adina to Zane Trace, Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing has all the team colors. And of course, your Chillicothe Cavalier blue and white. So stop on into the shop in Central Center and see for yourself. Or visit Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing online and place your order today. Southern Ohio Monument Company believes remembering a loved one after they're gone can be as personalized as when they were here. With over 400 in-stock monuments to choose from, there are shapes and sizes to match nearly everyone's personality, helping your loved one make a lasting impression. Southern Ohio Monument Company on East Main Street in downtown Chillicothe. Open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturdays 8 to 1. Southern Ohio Monument Company, proud sponsor of the Cavaliers.
Hi, I'm Angie with ATI Physical Therapy located in Chillicothe. If pain or injury prevent you from doing what you love, but ATI Physical Therapy gets you back. Whether it's back to work or back to your play, ATI's energetic and motivating team is ready to help you begin your road to recovery. We will craft a personalized treatment plan incorporating the appropriate techniques for your condition. Stop by our Chillicothe location for a complimentary injury screening or visit atipt.com for a location near you.
Young's Family Market is family-owned and operated. M.L. Young founded the grocery store in 1936, and now a second generation of Youngs, Brad, Susan, and their children now operate the business. To also serve the surrounding area, the Youngs opened a second location in Kingston, Ohio back in 2014, making shopping easy by offering everything you need, including beer and wine, all under one roof. No more running all over town making numerous stops to get everything on your list. Instead, visit our store and find it all. We offer fresh, high-quality products for affordable prices. It's the Young's Family Market, serving the Laurelville, Ohio community for more than 60 years.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Back on the Cavalier Coaches Corner, we have our 4 team captains for the 2019 football season. We have Patrick Ward, also Christian Benson. There's Cortland Duncan and Cade Williams. Guys, welcome to the program. And who'd have thought you'd be seniors by now, huh? I remember you guys, most of you as freshmen, just coming up through the ranks. Patrick, what has it been like preparing for a new year?
It's been fun. We've been working hard all off season, getting ready for the year.
Yeah. Now, Christian, of course, you have been playing all 4 years, and now here you've got a leadership role as a team captain. What's it like to have that voice to be heard?
It's weird being like from my junior year, being just another guy on the field, just filling my spot, filling my gaps, to being like the guy that the guys look up to. Yeah. It's just nice to be that guy.
And Cortland, now you were one of those that looked up to the upperclassmen. Now you are that guy. Right. There's a great deal of responsibility that you guys carry, right?
Yes. No, my sophomore year, I looked up to Jason Benson and Brandon Moffmer and all of them. So just being able to be in that position and reflect on what they did, just carry it on.
And Cade, as a running back and linebacker, you find yourself now in a situation where you're going to have the hands on the ball a lot more. Yeah. And as a senior, you want to cut out all the mistakes, and you never want to fumble, nothing like that, right?
Yeah, no mistakes at all. I mean, I'm going to do my best that I possibly can, and I want this to be my best year because it's my senior year.
Now, have you had a chance to run the ball before this year?
Not at a varsity level. This is my varsity level first attempt going into this year. So, see where it goes.
So far, has it been everything you thought it would be?
Yeah.
Tell us about your fellow running backs.
We have another senior, Tyson Etter. He's very athletic and strong. And Chucky Thomas, he's a sophomore, and he's doing really good as a sophomore. And he's looking to have a lot of varsity reps as well.
Cortland has talked about getting the ball in the air as an H-back. That is something that's going to be very key for you to see that ball coming your way. And of course, the big thing is to catch it and get some extra yards. Right?
Yeah. I mean, last year, at the end of the year when Zach Coates went down, I had to step up into that role. So just got a little bit of experience last year, just being able to track the ball down and stuff like that. So hopefully I can do a better job this year.
Now, who is your backup?
My backup is Christian. We rotate. So
In and out, back and forth.
yeah, and then I guess the second string would be Isaac McCory, another sophomore, like how I was my sophomore year, and he has very potential, just like all of us, and he'll be in this chair just like us.
Christian, you've been backup quarterback. You probably will see some action at quarterback this year, I imagine, too.
Yeah.
How different is it for you now compared to previous seasons?
I mean, I've never been. My first season that I really stepped into a quarterback role on the field was when Brandon Moffmer was. Were they seniors? Yeah, they were seniors. Just I always wanted to be at that level, know everything and be able to change stuff if I saw something. So it's nice to be at the top.
I want to say that your first completion went to the exchange student a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was for minus yardage, but it was, I think, one of the biggest moments of the season.
Yeah.
Everybody jumped up and down for that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's pretty cool. Patrick, I want to take a moment to talk equipment with you because you've had a special helmet this year, haven't you?
Yep, I have.
Talk about the helmet and what the difference is about it.
It's a new helmet. It's got a soft shell instead of a hard one. So when you get hit, it disperses to different parts. It won't hurt. It's soft. You can push down on it with your hand and it'll go in. It's awesome.
I had a chance to see that earlier.
There's no airbags in it either.
Cool. Is that right?
Yeah, there's no air. It's if you look inside of it, there's just all these little things coming out, and then it's perfectly fit to your head. You got pads that are the right size. He came in and fitted up, and it's perfectly for me.
Advanced technology, and you get to be the guinea pig.
Yep, I'm the guinea pig.
Let's take a look at the fact that the offensive line and defensive line in that respect has lost a lot of experience. You lost the likes of Bradley Reinhardt, Owen Lindsay, those guys.
Yeah.
Talk about what the position's like right now.
Right now, well, we're young. The line's young. Both lines are young. We got a lot of two-way starters on both lines. Me, Ray, and Drew. We're starting on offense and defense, and then we got two sophomores on the other side on offense. So it's young, but we're getting better as time goes on.
Now you've got Taze Valley coming up this Friday night, and you know how I feel about this game, right? But I know how you guys ought to feel about this game too. You've won the last 4 contests. Probably shouldn't have won last year. Maybe shouldn't have won the year before. And I know that's probably got the guys up in Asheville riled up a little bit, getting ready for this one. But what's it going to take to win Friday night?
We got control of the line and no mistakes. Just no mistakes at all. If we make no mistakes, then and just move the ball, we should be all right. No missed tackles, no fumbles, cause turnovers.
Anybody else?
I mean, really, it's what Coach Adams always preaches to us. Football's about gaps. If you fill your gap and be where you're supposed to be, they can't move the ball.
And play to the end of the clock as well,
Yep.
which is what happened last year with McKellen Lee scoring the winning touchdown in the final seconds of the contest. So that should give you something to build on, knowing that, hey, we've survived before, we can survive again, right?
Yep.
let's take a moment to learn a little bit more about these guys. We've learned the football side. Kate, let me ask you, if it's a Friday night and you're not playing football during the off season, I imagine maybe a movie, dinner. What do you like to do with your buddies?
Just hang out. I don't know. Sometimes I like to go out and work out, and play video games mainly.
Got a favorite video game?
Madden.
Football, Madden. Are you all Madden players?
Yeah.
Okay. So none of the other outlandish type of video games. Just stick with football.
Just usually football, sports.
Yeah.
Cortland, what have you done this summer? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Just mainly cherishing the moments with all my senior friends and my junior friends. And it's been a long high school career, and just cherishing every moment because you never know what, like my best friend McKellen Lee tore his ACL, might not get to play football ever again. So just an eye-opening moment for really all of our teammates, really just to go out and cherish every moment. Like I said, just play hard. So just being with friends and making the most out of every little moment.
What about you, Christian?
Me and my man Pat here have been going fishing a lot this summer. Yeah. And just like what Cortland said, just being around the team, trying to involve everyone. We don't have that long left.
What have you been catching?
Bass.
Really?
Yeah.
Got a secret spot you go to, or is it just anywhere you can find bass?
Anywhere, basically. We hit up some creeks and ponds. That's usually it.
Yeah.
Thanks for it.
What's been your favorite bait to use?
I like to use rubber worms.
Yeah.
I use a jerk bait.
Turkey bait. Oh.
Jerk bait.
Oh, jerk bait. Okay. I was going to say going right at it. That's expensive bait. Well, guys, you got the season to start this Friday night, and I know it's going to go by real fast. It's going to be the end of the season before you know it. I want to take a moment to ask if you've made decisions on your future, what you want to do after you get done with high school.
I haven't made any decisions yet. I've applied to some colleges. If an offer comes, I might go play. I don't know.
I have not decided yet, but I have applied to colleges as well. And if I get into Miami of Ohio, I'm going to go there.
Portland?
I got a couple of schools that are looking at me, and then, like Pat said, if an offer comes, I might go play football. But if not, looking at Cincinnati, Youngstown, and if my last resort, probably the Armed Forces.
I'm undecided as well. I applied to some colleges and the same thing. Looking into the military as well, Air Force maybe.
Do you have an idea of what your vocation would be after school is complete? What you'd like to do for a career?
Kind of want to do something with sports medicine, like a physician maybe, or a physical therapist.
Portland?
I have a couple of things in mind. One is probably like journalism and stuff, that route, and maybe just like communications and intelligence in the military. That's what I was looking into.
I see you on ESPN someday.
Yeah,
doing a
yes,
sportscast.
That's the dream.
Christian, now everybody in your family's a lawyer.
Yeah, I
What
do
about
not
you?
want to be a lawyer. I do not want to be a lawyer. But I mean, I would be a lawyer, but that's not my first job that I would want. I want to be some sort of salesman. I want to travel and just find something new and to try to get it in the world, I guess.
Sales is where the money's at. Pat, what about you?
I'm looking into mechanical engineering right now. Taking some courses geared with it, so that's what I'm looking for in college as well.
Become a builder.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, guys, good luck to you Friday night. Thanks for coming on the show this evening, and we will see you this Friday. It's the Litter Media Game of the Week, so we'll be there to shoot a highlight film. Let's have some good highlights, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll continue with Coach Doug Pryor in just a moment on the Cavalier Coaches Corner.
Southern Ohio Monument Company believes remembering a loved one after they're gone can be as personalized as when they were here. With over 400 in-stock monuments to choose from, there are shapes and sizes to match nearly everyone's personality, helping your loved one make a lasting impression. Southern Ohio Monument Company on East Main Street in downtown Chillicothe. Open weekdays 8 to 5 and Saturdays 8 to 1. Southern Ohio Monument Company, proud sponsor of the Cavaliers.
Hi, I'm Angie with ATI Physical Therapy located in Chillicothe. If pain or injury prevent you from doing what you love, but ATI Physical Therapy gets you back. Whether it's back to work or back to your play, ATI's energetic and motivating team is ready to help you begin your road to recovery. We will craft a personalized treatment plan incorporating the appropriate techniques for your condition. Stop by our Chillicothe location for a complimentary injury screening or visit atipt.com for a location near you.
Young's Family Market is family owned and operated. M.L. Young founded the grocery store in 1936, and now a second generation of Youngs, Brad, Susan, and their children now operate the business. To also serve the surrounding area, the Youngs opened a second location in Kingston, Ohio back in 2014, making shopping easy by offering everything you need, including beer and wine, all under one roof. No more running all over town making numerous stops to get everything on your list. Instead, visit our store and find it all. We offer fresh, high-quality products for affordable prices. It's the Young's Family Market, serving the Laurelville, Ohio community for more than 60 years.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing in Central Center can customize t-shirts, banners, posters, vinyl lettering for your car, truck, and they can embroider logos for your school or business. It's time to show your team's spirit. And from Adina to Zane Trace, Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing has all the team colors. And of course, your Chillicothe Cavalier blue and white. So stop on into the shop in Central Center and see for yourself. Or visit Chillicothe Signs and Screen Printing online and place your order today.
Welcome back to Cavalier Corner, and yes, we can't do the show without Cavalier Tom McClaskey, who made an appearance for us here this season. Welcome back, Tom.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Glad to be back.
With Coach Doug Pryor now. Coach, in the earlier segment, we talked about the fact that we wanted to touch on who your new coordinators are.
Sure.
And let's just take a look at who the whole staff is. So where do we start with offense?
So our offensive coordinator this year is Austin Dreyer, and he's been in the program for I think probably around 6, 7, 8 years. He's a Chillicothe High School graduate. Attended the College of Worcester, which ironically, I went to Denison, and Worcester and Denison are big rivals. Of course, around the time he was in school, Denison didn't fare too well, but we've kind of turned the tide. But that's a side note. But Coach Dreyer's done a great job. And when I talk about the offense, I mean, really, we kind of changed the way we taught our passing tree. But other than that, we've mostly kept the offense virtually the same, just kind of changed some of the terminology, in a way that we felt was easier to teach the kids. And so, they've been able to pick up things pretty fast. And so he's done a great job. And he's also a special ed teacher in the school and does a great job with the kid with that. So he has already built a rapport with not just football kids, but the student body in general. And I know he's also coached girls basketball and softball. So, and then you have we brought on we have Coach Johnson back, Coach Eddie Johnson, and he's a Manor Clear Creek guy, so he knows a lot about strong football traditions and played for Coach Hinton in his senior year, I believe it was, and right before Coach Hinton came to Chillicothe. So he's in the building as well as a math teacher at the middle school, and again does a great job. You've also got you have Coach Todd Seymour, who's another Chillicothe graduate, and he's working with the wide receivers and on offense. And Coach Johnson this year has moved from offensive line to running backs. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. They've kind of shared those two positions actually, and wide receivers and running backs. But Coach Seymour, I would say, is more of the initially. Coach Johnson was going to coach the running backs, but Coach Seymour has kind of switched back to the running backs position.
He was a hard-nosed running back.
And so, I mean, you could just tell that's where his passion is.
He's probably told you that, but I'm confirming.
Yeah, okay, great. He also told me he played nose guard as well, too. So,
He did, yeah.
So, but yeah, so you have Coach Seymour, Chillicothe grad, been a defensive coordinator at 2 different playoff, schools in Westfall and Logan Elm. And so it's great to have, that football knowledge and been under some great head coaches. And so you have Coach Seymour. Then you have Coach Camps came back this year, and he's working with the offensive line. And this is his 2nd year with the program, doing a great job, guidance counselor in the school. By the way, Coach Seymour is also an intervention specialist, just like Coach Dreyer. And so you also have Coach Little. We brought in Coach Frank Little. He was actually my position coach at Denison University. And I coached with him for 5 years when I went back to Denison as a defensive line coach. And he's coming this year and has more of an offensive focus with the offensive line. And then we also have Coach Jason Jones, and he's a volunteer coach. Done a great job. He's really, really good in the weight room, and just has a really great rapport with the kids. His son played here a couple seasons ago, so he's really tied into Cavalier football. And you got Coach Kaz Pata, who is also he's a phys ed teacher over at the intermediate school, and St. Clairsville alum, which is near and dear to my heart because I have a lot of family from that area. So we call him Coach Kaz actually, even though Pat is his last name. But Coach Kaz does a great job coaching wide receivers, and Coach Jones coaches offensive line on the offensive side of the ball. So that's our offensive staff, and then of course you would basically flip that. Everybody basically has 2 positions, and so if you start back with as far as our defensive coordinator, he helps with our wide receivers on offense, but he has obviously a strong defensive focus. BJ Adams, he coaches inside linebackers, and on offense he helps out with the wide receivers. Coach Adams is, I'm telling you, a very fiery coach, passionate about the game. The kids love him. They really respect him, as they do the entire staff, but you can tell that he's definitely cut out to be a defensive coordinator. It's the same, I would say, about Coach Dreyer being the offensive coordinator. Typically, you have the offensive coordinator who's sort of more of the cerebral, I wouldn't say laid back, but in a negative way, but more of that cerebral coach that's not a yeller, screamer, just really strong in the X's and O's of the game. Coach Adams really strong in the X's and O's of the game, but definitely brings that energy, whether it be in the weight room or on the field. And I would say the same thing about Coach Dreyer. If the guys aren't going hard enough in our team sessions or individual, he gets pretty pumped up. So we got 2 great coaches. I mean, the staff in general is just, they work so hard. Everybody has their niche and their strong point, and they execute that every single day. And so again, like I said, you have Coach Adams on the defensive side. Coach Camps is coach the defensive line, and he's more of has more of a defensive focus, and he'll call the defense for the junior varsity, and then Coach Johnson will have more of an offensive focus. He'll call the offense for the junior varsity, and we're just kind of getting them ready for their futures, and they have strong futures. And Coach Kaz, I had mentioned, he coaches the corners on defense as well as the wide receivers, and then you'll have Coach Jones will coach inside linebackers with Coach Adams, and Coach Little works with the defensive line, but more focused on the O-line. And then Coach Dreyer's helped out with the cornerbacks, and alongside, and he's also worked with the safeties as well. So, and then Coach Seymour kind of works as a pseudo co-defensive coordinator. He probably wouldn't call himself that, but he's basically like the coordinator of the back half of the defensive backfield. And then Coach Adams is more of he's the defensive coordinator, but has a strong emphasis with that front seven. So, yeah.
I know that special teams wise, we've not talked personnel really as far as the players are concerned.
Sure.
Last year, Matt Deddy was injured a good part of the year, and this kid, Jacob Coughlin, came on in
Sure.
a big way. And he'd been kicking with the Cavaliers since his freshman year.
Sure.
Got a feeling he's going to be the guy that puts the ball in play.
Yes, he'll do our kickoffs, he'll do our extra points, our field goals. Jacob's, he's been a young man that, you know, he's also part of the soccer team, and so matter of fact, they're at a game right now, and so, you know, but when he's not on the soccer field, he's out here kicking. He gets together with, you know, not just Jacob Coughlin, but, you know, Isaac Crawford and Mason Sibrel. They get out there every time. You know, last night they had practice, soccer practice, before we got on the field. When I come out there, you know, they're still in their practice stuff for soccer, and they're kicking field goals. And so, I mean, that just shows you that unit's work ethic, and Jacob leads that. Jacob really leads that, so it's exciting. So I'm excited to see, you know, what he does on Friday night. I think he'll do well. He's just a great kid to be around, a great kid to have in your program.
Well, let's talk about Tays Valley.
Yeah, yes, sir.
We've got, as we are taping this, 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 40 seconds, really,
Yes.
to get ready for this contest. This is a contest that Chillicothe has won the last 4.
Sure.
As we mentioned with the guys earlier, it took down to the final seconds to win against Tays Valley last year. What's it going to take to win this at their place? They're going to be jacked up.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got a new facility
Yes,
now.
new field.
The field looks fantastic, and the very first field for Chillicothe with the turf was against Tays Valley. So Nate Rosenbauer scored the first touchdown. I just want to throw that out there. So what do we got to do Friday night? Because they're going to be tough. They're going to be mean. They're going to be strong.
Oh, yeah. You know, from a defensive standpoint, you know, we've got to be able to stop the run. They have 2 good running backs, a really athletic quarterback and skilled quarterback that's played since he was a sophomore, I believe. And so he's definitely the leader of that team. I would say all around. He's their star player. And so if we can really, they've got a really physical fullback. That's just the name of their game, is you would say a ground and pound offense, power, ISO, counter trade. You know, they're looking to see, can you line up in between the tackles and stop them, and the quarterback's also great at running sweeps as well. So can you stop our run game? And then also they pass it well from what we've seen on the 2 scrimmages that we have on film. They pass it well, and they've got some athletic. They have two really about 3 athletic wide receivers, and with good speed, good size, that can hurt you. So they're fairly balanced, but you know, my guess would be that they really want to just line up and see if you can stop our run game first, and sprinkle in that passing game on you. Defensively, they're going to blitz a lot. That's what they've shown so far. And you know, they line up in that 4-4 and try to put 8 in the box if you don't spread them out with your formations, and they're going to attack you and force you to throw over them and run through them, because they're going to be downhill, and again, they're going to be physical. They have size on the offensive and defensive line, and they play hard. So I know a strong emphasis in their program, you could just tell, is the weight room, and it shows on film. So definitely going to be, to win that game, we've got to control the trenches, stop the run game, and be able to move the ball, and you know, pick up the blitzes to add to our offense and help us with the passing game. And so definitely going to be, as they would say, the old school phrase, a slobber knocker. You know, just knock down, drag out fight. All the cliches you can think of, a dog fight.
I know they've had the ability, the quick strike ability.
Sure.
and they can score in a New York minute. But in the same respect, they like to pound and just grind and wear you down.
Oh yeah.
And that's what it takes to win the Mid-State League.
Yeah.
So they beef up their preseason with with teams like Chillicothe.
Sure.
But one of the things Chillicothe has been known for is skill position.
Right.
Year after year after year.
Sure.
If we're low in the front in the trenches, we've got kids that are just faster and lightning. Tell us a little bit more about the personnel on the team for this year.
Sure.
As we heard, McKellen Lee was injured during the
tough
offseason.
loss. Extremely tough loss.
He's a kid that had a lot of experience coming back.
Right. Right. And McKellen is a young man who you hate to see him. He was injured this summer, and had been showing up all summer, working hard. He was in spring, had a great track season, and looking forward to working with him. And just on a personal level, just a good kid to have in your program. Was extremely excited, still is extremely excited. He shows up and rehabs in here, and he gears up and rehabs like he's expected to play this Friday, right? And we don't know. I mean, maybe mid-season he does make it back. We're not sure, but we just want the best for him physically and for life after football. But so that was a tough loss. And so my words with McKellen are. Be there for your seniors, be there for the team, coach up the guys, coach up the younger guys especially, and he's really embraced that. He's really embraced that, so that's good to see. But you want to know about the skill guys. We really feel like our quarterback, Jaden Kane, he'll be a really a strong player for us this year. Really athletic. That's got to be your field general, right? I mean, you just really flow. The team goes how the quarterback goes. How his play goes, how his attitude is, and so.
And he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. He's young, but he's a really mature young man. And then we have a loaded backfield. I feel like Cade Williams was just up here, and Cade will get some touches. We have another senior, Tyson Etter, that will get some touches, a tailback. It's a sophomore. Chucky Thomas, he'll get some touches, and so we've really just been, it's kind of running back by committee, and we're going to kind of probably play it to whoever has a hot hand. That young man will get the bulk of the carries for that night. We'll just see. So that's how we're looking, skill-wise with this quarterback and running back. Receiver-wise, we have, Cortland and Christian both play that H-back position, extremely skilled kids, and obviously Christian is also a quarterback as well. So, who knows? I can't let everything out, but maybe you might see Christian line up back there at some quarterback and some packages. But they're both physical kids, good-sized kids that love the game and great teammates, great leaders, and. So they're definitely going to help us in the passing game, and then so they'll play that H-back position, and then you have some new. They're juniors, but they're still kind of young because some of them are playing a lot of varsity football for the first time. Joe Barnes will play wide receiver for us, so he'll line up in the slot for us, and Joel is a very fast kid. He got some run at the end of last season due to some injuries, so. Joel will be a big playmaker for us, I feel. Joe Barnes Jr. And then you have Logan Snowden, who's really worked his butt off in the off season, and he'll play that X, split in, the old split in position there, and he'll play some wide receiver and some corner for us, and Joel will play wide receiver and safety. And then you have Cam Smith, another explosive player, who kind of rotate both, play some slot, play some X receiver, and we're really excited about those three. You also have a sophomore in the mix, and those were all juniors. A sophomore in the mix, Xavier Doss. He's a kid. He's playing wide receiver. He's playing some slot. He's playing some X, and then he's also playing some safety. So he's a kid that we're excited about. a young kid, but very, very fast. Maybe the fastest kid on the team. Young man named Keon Williams plays some safety for us. He plays safety for us. He plays wide receiver. You always get on the wide receivers about blocking, you know, and he's a kid who he straps it up, and he's, you know, a physical player at that position. You know, whether it's catching the ball or in the run game, blocking, stock blocking out on that edge. So it's a kid we're excited about. So those are, as far as our skill guys offensively, you know, that's what we have. So.
And you lost a lot defensively to graduation.
Yes.
I got to think that the theme might be the no-name defense this year.
Yeah, I mean, you know, ironically, you had a young man sitting here, Patrick Rourke. I mean, he might be the best defensive player that we have, but he's also one of our best offensive linemen, maybe our best offensive lineman as well. Just a hard-nosed kid who, the first time I turned on film and I watched the defense come out against Taze Valley, and, you know, he's running down the line, you know, he's playing 3-tech, and he's sprinting down the line and tackling their QB on a sweep. And from the other side of the field, it's like, man, this kid is a player. He's a competitor. And so, you know, really trying to do some things that kind of really try to spare him on the offensive side of the ball and keep him fresh for defense, because he's going to be a force up front. So he's the leader of that O-line and that D-line right now. And again, it's just a kid. I would say, you know, he and Cade Williams are the two strongest kids on the team. You know, Cade, I think I asked him the other day what he weighs. He weighs around $180, and you know, Patrick's around probably 240. And you know, again, we have some guys in between there. You know, some linemen, and Cade Williams is right up there, past a lot of the linemen, and right below Patrick working. Patrick is, you know, a monster in the weight room, and so it's really showed with those two and their ability. And you talk about the no-name defense, but we do have a couple guys back, obviously, with Christian Benson. He's moving more. He's an inside linebacker this year, and Cortland Duncan coming back at the outside linebacker position. And sure, we have a lot of new faces. Cam Smith, I know, played some cornerback at the end of last season, and I'm not sure how much time. Joel was more of an offensive player last year when he did get called to the varsity. But so we have some experience, but a lot of guys that can run around and make plays. And so, you know, up front, O-line wise and D-line wise, we have a lot of two-way players. You know, Ray Byers Jr. at right tackle. Right guard is going to be a sophomore, Keyshawn Shepard. He won't play any defense, so we just kind of save him. And right tackle, will actually probably be a sophomore, Brendan Macon. Ray Byers will line up at the left tackle, and Patrick Rourke will be left guard. And then Drew Seymour Jr. he'll play he'll be the center and also plays nose guard. And Ray, the left tackle, will also play defensive end. Obviously, Patrick, I mentioned, was our starting 3-tech. And Brendan Macon will probably start at our right tackle, his sophomore. He'll play some rush in for us. And then you have Jaden McNish, who will rotate an offensive tackle with Brendan at that right tackle, but he'll probably play. He might actually start at the defensive end spot. He and Ray will rotate together. We'll try to spare Ray and keep Ray more in the offense and start Jaden McNish, who's a senior, start him at end. He's had a really great preseason as far as the scrimmages, and has really just proven that, you know, he deserves to be out there. So we're excited about, you know, our front on both sides of the ball. We're just trying to kind of configure how we can get guys breaks, and that's going to be a big focus for us. And you have Christian Benson in the middle. You'll have Cade Williams in the middle. Cade's a great running back. We're trying to kind of save him for defense, but the way he showed us, especially in his last scrimmage, he has to have touches at running back because he's a really strong runner. So,
well, these young kids that don't have a lot of experience are in the frying pan right now.
Sure.
Going to put them in the fire Friday night and get it all started.
Yeah, definitely. And a couple other kids I left out for you. I did talk about Tyson Leonard, running back, but he's also going to be our starting cornerback. And he played some last year, mostly at running back, but, you know, he'll be our starting cornerback, and he's really, really physical. He might be one of our more physical kids on defense, ironically. And then you got on the other side, like I mentioned, Logan Stoner will play some corner. Cam Smith will play some corner. A sophomore, Tylen Scales, will play some corner. He's going to have to step and play some corner. And like I said, in the safeties, we've really got 3 to play 2 with Joe Barnes, Xavier Doss, Keon Williams. So really excited about this group, and hopefully starting on Friday, they do start to make some names for themselves. The guys that haven't been out there need some of the familiar names, the Cortland Duncans, the Christian Missons, the Patrick Warks. You know about them, and but we're really gonna. I feel like put on a good show for people, really compete hard. So
No butterflies yet, but come Friday night, they'll start stirring up about 6:45.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we're still a little bit early. As you say, we get the clock back there, 2 hours and 22 minutes till kickoff. 2 days and 22 hours till kickoff, 31 minutes. Sure. Right now we're working on. Let's tomorrow have a better practice than we had today. We had a good practice today. We got it in before the rain started. It's pouring right now, obviously. And we beat yesterday. Yesterday we got some things in. It was just kind of sprinkling. We were able to get outside and hoping tomorrow accomplish more. And I know the guys are excited. Talked to one of the players today, Logan Soda, said, I'm really excited for Friday. I said, yeah, we gotta work hard today so we can be ready on Friday. Because Friday won't matter if we don't work hard today. So
Looking forward to it. The season kickoff for the Chillicothe Cavaliers. This will take place in Asheville, 7 o'clock kickoff.
Yes, sir.
All right, 7 o'clock kickoff, so make sure you're there. If you can't be there, make sure you're listening to 1490 AM, 92.7 FM, WBEX.com, and WBEX on the iHeartRadio feed. Greg Bigham and Dana Cousins with the coverage for you there. For Cavalier Tom, Coach Doug, I almost called you something else.
No, it's a
Pryor.
Yes, sir.
Not Hinton. I'm Dan Ramey, and there's one last thing to say, and that's
Go Cavs!